Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nimra Maryam and today I'm going to present our semester presentation on builder pattern along with my group members Tashkeen and Humayun. Starting from the definition, builder is creation object design pattern that lets you construct complex objects. The pattern allows you to produce different types and representation of an object. Basically, it is useful when creating complex objects. It separates the construction of complex objects from its representation. This was all written in the slides. Let me explain this, all of this using some scenario. Like if we are building a house, that house can be a mansion and can be a small cottage. But the procedure will be same for both of them. Like the concept would be same. We will be having a blueprint or we can say a map, and then we will decide whether we'll be having blue walls, white walls, any color of walls, and the roof and the ceiling, whatever, and so on. The process is same, but the end result is different for both of them. So what builder pattern does is that it allows the procedure to have the steps for different for each scenario. So we will not have to start writing the code and the procedure from scratch for each scenario. It will provide us inbuilt. Okay, so this is reference image. This reference image shows that builder pattern allows to proceed any task in the form of steps. The structure includes the client, which connects the director with builder. Builder class includes concrete builder classes, and those concrete builder classes releases the products. Example one includes that the building pattern using of a builder pattern to get rid of telescoping constructor. What basically this means is that the class pizza. Let me explain it by the help of this piece of code. The class pizza is having the three constructors. Okay, they can be like multiple, more than three also. These three constructors are associated with pizza class, but all of them are having different parameters. Like first one is just associated with size. It will calculate the size, it will include the size. The second one is having the along with the size also it includes whether there will be cheese or not. And the third one includes the along with the cheese and size, it also includes the pepperoni. All three of them are having connection with pizza, but all of them are having different scenarios. The second example shows that when you want your code to be able to create different representation of same product, like the stone house or the wooden house, both are the houses, but the ingredients, the recipe will be different for both of them. This was all what builder pattern is, and by the help of example and scenario I explained all of it. Now let's move towards the next part of presentation, which will be presented by Tashkeen.
I'm going to tell about the pros and cons of the builder pattern and relationships with other patterns. Pros of the builder pattern. Build objects step by step. The builder pattern allows us to create objects step by step. This means we can build complicated objects piece by piece, which makes the process easier and less prone to mistakes. We use building code. We can use the same construction process to create the different kinds of objects. This saves us time and effort because we don't have to write new code for each type of object. Keep code organized. The builder pattern helps us keep our code organized. The building code is separate from the main logic of the application, which makes the code clear and easier to understand. Single responsibility principle. This it follows the single responsibility principle, which means that each part of our code has one specific job. This makes our code easier to maintain and extend. Cons of this builder pattern. One downside is that the builder pattern can make our code more complex. We need to create multiple new classes, which can make the project bigger and harder to manage. Setting up the builder pattern can take more time initially because of the extra classes and methods we need to create. Relations with other patterns. Factory method. Many designs start with the factory method. This pattern is simpler and allows us to create objects without specifying the exact class. As our as our needs grow, we might switch to builder pattern, which is more flexible but also more complex. Abstract factory. Abstract factory pattern is used to create the families of related objects. Unlike the builder pattern, the abstract factory pattern returns the final product immediately. In contrast, the builder pattern let us run additional construction steps before finishing the product. Prototype. The prototype pattern is about cloning objects. It's useful when we want to create new objects by copying existing ones. While the builder pattern focuses on step-by-step construction, the prototype pattern focuses on cloning. Composite. We can use builder pattern when creating complex composite structures. The builder can program construction steps to work recursively, which is helpful for building tree-like structures.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Humail Ali and I am here to explain the code of the builder pattern. So let's go through the code step by step to understand what's happening at each stage. Here this defines the car class with 5 fields: engine, transmission, sunroof, GPS and color. The car class represents a car with both required parameters and optional parameters. Engine and transmission are the required parameters, whereas sunroof, GPS and color are the optional parameters. Now, this constructor is private and takes a car builder object as a parameter. It initializes the car fields with the values from the builder. The car builder class here is the static nested class inside the car. It has the same field as the car class. Like it has required parameters which are engine and transmission, same as the car class. Also, the optional parameters it has are like car class, which are sunroof, GPS, and the color. And this constructor initializes the builder with the required parameters such as which are engine and transmission. Now, these methods allow setting optional parameters, sunroof, GPS, and the color. Each method returns the builder itself this to allow method chaining. Now, this method here, it constructs a car object using the builder this and returns it. Getter for the car attributes. Now, here, the methods provide access to the car objects fields. And now the string. This method returns a representation of the car object including all its fields which are transmission, sunroof, GPS and color. Now for the main method here demonstrates how to use the car builder to create a car object. Step by step in main, first of all you have to create a car builder instance with the required parameters. Then you have to set up optional parameters, and in the last you have to build a car object to print the car object using system.out.println car. This code ensures now that the car object is created in a controlled manner with a clear and readable process for setting optional parameters. Its output will be like that the car object, which will represent its engine type, transmission, sunroof, GPS and the color. This code basically illustrates the summary, the builder pattern, allowing for the flexible and readable object construction, especially while dealing with the multiple optional parameters. So thank you for today's presentation and Allah Hafiz.